his Paladin, though.
Oh yeah, I got this the wrong way round. His last hero standing, I was thinking, oh, that was Conquest. It's not likely to be really close. Viper's likely to get stomped by the Rogue going down. Excuse me, that was Conquest thought process.
Right, well, we just saw Paladin versus Rogue. Let's watch it again. This time, BunnyHoppor versus Viper. And actually, just saying, almost got over the hurdle. And he had a pretty good hand.
That's the thing, right? This is what makes it so terrifying. You saw Saiyan's hand there, picking up that Sonya, playing into the double freeze and getting rolling. I know he needed some more bits, but how much do you want? It just showed you how much you need.
Yeah. So much has to go together, right, for it to work. Like, not only does the Rogue need to have the good start that completes the quest quickly whilst slowing down the Paladin needs to not have a good start, needs to not have the knife jugglers.
Needs to give you not one extra turn of your scale hide to and still win.
Right, sure.
Just extended BM.
In that's the thing with the matchup. Like, you have to have both. You have to have the good start, and the Paladin has to have the bad start in order to get the win. And that's it. That's the only hope I think it's safe to say that Viper has in this coming game.
Yeah, and then he's got to do it against Druid, which is a lot easier than against the Paladin for sure, but you've still got to get it done.
Yeah, Druid is a much easier matchup for the Rogue. Both types of Druid, actually. I'm now just a little bit worried that... Is there any chance this isn't Odd Rogue?
Oh, there's a chance, yeah. I mean, at this point in proceedings, keeping up with the deck list as we're rattling out the games has been a bit difficult for round one. Later on, it will be a lot easier for us. But yeah, there is a chance it is an Odd Rogue.
Just because I'm seeing this Warrior in his lineup, right? And then maybe, of course, those of you watching at home can check out Smash GG, load up the deck list
Viper
yourself.
has brought sort of unusual stuff before. He is one of these players who can just play anything he likes. But in general, I think Odd Rogue has been fairly scorned upon. Let's see what he's got.
That's not the quest on the left. That's a Faldori Strider. Okay.
Miracle Rogue.
Let's do this. Now I'm excited.
Are you?
I am.
Good.
I am.
You're always excited, Dan. That's what I love about you.
I try to be. No, I'm excited because Miracle Rogue is not a deck that we see nearly as much. It's a deck that I know that Derek also is a big fan of.
The weird thing is, even though it is definitely better against Paladin than Quest Rogue, because anything's better against Paladin than Quest Rogue, it's still a really tough matchup.
Yeah, Paladin just goes so wide, and there's only 2 Fan of Knives in the deck.
Yeah, a couple of backstabs to fans, the hero power.
There's not even Vanish in this.
Having the Strider's a big deal, though. You can just accidentally occupy the board.
Right.
A really big start. Interesting he's considering keeping the prep. Should he pick up like a fan to go with that, would be amazing. But this deck is primarily minions. He's not even going to go for Strider. He's just going to go for the backstab in the very early game.
Wow, he is just focusing on survival. I think that Strider can be a really big deal, but the problem is even if you slam it on turn 4, the 4/4s might just be at the bottom of your deck, and you might not draw it. So I do like Viper's strategy here to go for maybe a more consistent, better start. Elven Minstrel's really good at just thinning out the deck.
And BunnyHoppor has completely and utterly whiffed, which is really hard to do with this deck. He's going to do nothing for 2 or 3 turns. And if you let Miracle Rogue get to turn 6 or 7 and not be in trouble, you've got problems.
Double Auctioneer isn't exactly what Viper wants against a Paladin. Again, it's like Fan of Knives he needs. An early Edwin wouldn't be too bad either. Well, it would be.
Oh, Bunny.
Well, that's a hero power.
Yeah, this is where you think, like, people are probably asking, why is he taking so long? But you're not just thinking about this turn, you're thinking about what's my plan for this entire game? Now that you don't have a regular game plan now, you don't care about turn 2, you're pressing the button and passing.
Yeah.
But he's thinking like turn 4, where do I use these true silvers? What am I targeting with the true silvers? How do I get back on board if I start getting behind?
Also,
when do I use my Argent? All that stuff is in his head.
Also, if he hero powers immediately, it makes it blindingly obvious to Viper that all BunnyHoppor has in his hand. Well, he doesn't have to.
Well, I was going to say that, but it's blindingly obvious anyway, because if you've got a 2-drop, he just played.
Sure.
Right? So in this instance, that line isn't working. It's literally just thinking...
What if it was an ooze?
Okay, sure.
Then maybe there'd be some sort of consideration.
I mean, it's always worth thinking about your plays. You've got the time. And he is going to need to think seriously hard on turns 4, 5, and 6. So let's do some of that now. But you're right, it can also potentially bluff an ooze.
Still no 2-drop. Oh, dear. And those Fireflies are going to chew up the 1/1s along with, I expect, a hero power next turn. Viper is going to easily keep BunnyHoppor's board full of nothing at bay.
Yeah, Board full of nothing. This is how my first 250 games of Even Paladin looked. And then I worked out how bad I was at it. Bunny just not getting to do anything. Interesting what Viper does, whether he chooses to coin into the Minstrel, because his next few turns get a little bit iffy. Obviously getting the dagger going is important though. And also keeping coin for Auctioneer if you want to be that greedy. So a lot of forward planning available here for Viper, or at least forward projecting. How's this going to look in 2 or 3 turns? Can I afford not to play this Minstrel?
Just using up the coin always, it's something you really have to debate with yourself about before you do it at any point playing Miracle Rogue. Miracle Rogue used to have 3 coins. It used to have the double counterfeit coin because the card was so valuable. With Auctioneer, with Edwin Van Cleef, etc. So
yeah, he's got double Auctioneer and 2/0 drops, so he'd like to coin those in on turn 5. But he also would like to activate his Strider because his hand is kind of... Sorry, his Minstrel, because his hand is kind of awkward.
Personally, I think Viper's position remains so good if he just hero powers. Deals with the 3/1/1s.
I think I agree, but
it's definitely something he's got to think about.
Miracle Rogue is very hard to play optimally, and this is the play I would have ended up making, same as you, but I can see why he probably still won't know what to do in about 10 minutes' time with that play.
He wants to see a Knife Juggler or something now, so the next turn he can go, oh, easy, Backstab, Elven, and Minstrel.
Yeah.
Here's Direwolf Alpha. And what was I saying about 2/3s earlier? Now you're getting a pretty clear picture as to why they're so much better than 2/2s.
Right. Oh, Bunny is in such a mess here. Still got the Druid to come, and he might well need it. So all Bunny has to do is how do I work out how he ever grabs this board, and it's going to revolve around Viper not having various cards. As far as he's concerned, we can see that Viper's just got pretty much everything he could ever desire, apart from a 4-drop, which would be nice.
Yeah, that Falduri Strider he threw away would be brilliant right about now. Wow, okay. Just play the Elven Minstrel on 4 without the Bumbo. That's... Okay, he wants a button.
That's a similar solution to the one Saiyan found in a bit of a weird hand earlier when he just played the Dustbreaker. Sorry, he just played the last dragon other than the Dustbreaker. He played Twilight Drake. Right. Similar solution, which is forget sometimes that your cards do other things and work out what you need right now, which is that tempo.
Gotcha.
And he's, you normally want that for the cards, but coin, Auctioneer, prep, Abyss, Backstab. How many cards do you need next turn?
He'll have considered a lot of things, though, there. Like, he will have considered prepping out the Elven Minstrel just to get the coin.
Right.
He'll have considered playing the Backstab, well, he couldn't play the Backstab, but playing the coin.
But he considered it all the turn before.
Yeah, right.
He'd planned on turn, when he went for that long think last turn, he'd realised that, hang on, my hand is good enough.
Yeah.
That my Auctioneer turn is the key turn. Let's just play the Minstrel to buy some time going into this coin Auctioneer ridiculousness here that's going to clear the board and draw a million cards. So for me, it's coin, Auctioneer, prep Abyss. Oh, sorry, Backstab first, then prep Abyss. Seems fine. You get 4/4/2/1/1s on the board, draw 3 or 4 more cards.
Does he need to play the Backstab this time?
May not need to. That's the other thing. He can also just still continue to chill. Backstab SI7.
I like
Develop
that
a board. It seems nice and simple. Sometimes simple's good. Keep back all your eviscerates for later for the bigger minions. That's starting to sound more impressive.
How important is the Backstab for the cycle? I'm not sure, actually.
Well, you save the coin this way, so you actually still get that same cycle.
Yeah, but I mean, like the other way. Like if you play the Backstab after the Auctioneer, like okay, it cycles. Maybe Backstab on its own is more valuable in your hand than whatever it draws. I think I prefer your play, the SI7 agent.
I mean, they're all my play. I made about 16 plays here. It'd be very hard to have guessed wrong.
Well, Lorinda, I like one of your plays at least.
Yeah, and I still managed to get it wrong.
This wasn't your play. But sure, okay, so basically he values the Backstab at more valuable than the Eviscerate.
Well, he values the versatility.
Yeah.
So he can Eviscerate or Backstab still this way, whereas the other way he can only Eviscerate.
Now next turn's looking insane, though. It's Auctioneer, coin, Backstab, prep, Eviscerate, and at that point he's drawn 4 more cards, so he can keep going, probably. He'll also still have 1 mana remaining, thanks to the coin. 26 health still. Viper still has 26 health.
Right, and that's absolutely key. And look how much damage he's starting to accumulate. It's not huge amounts, but minions are going to start turning into damage soon. It's got a long way to go, though, this game.
BunnyHoppor just doesn't have a way back onto this board. Like, okay, sure, he can sort of play Argent Commander and then it dies.
The nightmare for BunnyHoppor is he's going to start drawing 2-drops in a minute.
Right, or Call to Arms.
Okay, if he draws Call to Arms, he's good, but he's more likely to just draw Beetle or, and those things aren't going to help him.
All right, it's go time.
It was until he saw the questing, then he paused briefly.
No good this turn, but that's fine because that backstab can be used with the second Auctioneer.
Yeah.
In fact, that's good for this turn.
Yeah, because of the second Auctioneer. Start setting up for a big questing. I mean, questing's not that great, right? Because he just gets equality or silenced anyway. They've got no real silenced targets in this deck apart from the Auctioneer, which you just kill off so many ways.
Going big against Paladin just isn't any good unless you've got a Void Lord and then it goes wide as well.
And 4/4 is just not a good minion shape against Paladin.
Yeah.
This is the problem. Whatever you try and do against a Paladin, they've got different ways of answering it. That's why the deck is so powerful.
Thaldori Strider is going to be so important in this game, but the problem is Viper has no control over when the 4/4s come out of the deck. He wants to like have 2 4/4s on the board, have BunnyHoppor have to clear it, then summon 2 more 4/4s, but it doesn't work that way. And especially as we get deeper and deeper, there it is, as we get deeper and deeper into the deck, it's more likely that Viper summons them all on one turn, which then just loses to Equality Consecration.
Sure. And that explains that mulligan that you just described, so...
Maybe this turn is the Thaldori Strider questing turn. Yeah. Questing, Strider, backstab the 4/2.
That seems fine. Seems absolutely fine.
Unfortunately, the questing only becomes a 4/4, so the...
I don't think he cares. He just wants to make sure he uses up an enemy resource to kill it. He knows whatever size he gets to is going to die.
Alternatively, he could prep out the Eviscerate.
He could, and that's tempting.
Then it becomes a 5/5. The 5/5 kills the 1/1. In theory, BunnyHoppor may not be able to clear it, but it's such a waste of
kills
resources.
his Auctioneer, but it must be tempting. Because the Auctioneer now with the Strider down is a better way of generating stats than just buffing your questing a little bit.
It is, but it's all on one turn that way. And then again, one Equality Consecration, job done.
I mean, yeah, we say it's only one turn, but the chances are he just gets a 4/4 and then he gets cleared with, and sort of in a couple of turns later he gets another 4/4. That's, like you say, if it all comes in one turn, which always seems to be the way, then I agree it's a nightmare because he just gets Equality cleared, in theory. So who wins this resource battle? Viper still having Auctioneer and...
Well, ultimately,
spells.
BunnyHoppor wins because he doesn't draw his entire deck like Viper does, I think, with the Auctioneer and the Elven Minstrels. BunnyHoppor's resources certainly outlast Viper's.
Yeah, he hasn't Call to Arms, which is interesting, because if he had, then he gets through his deck really quickly as well.
Yeah, but like, BunnyHoppor just has more big stuff. Like, if he's running Valenier, there's that. He's had both Argent Commanders. Maybe there's a Lich King. Maybe there's a Dynasize. If he's not running Valenier, he probably runs Tyrion. Oh, wow, okay. Where are these 4/4s? Where are these 4/4s, Viper?
Yeah, he just needs one, really.
Okay. They're not coming out today.
But we've been talking about the clears, blah, blah, blah. As it happens, BunnyHoppor only has, at the moment, the Knife Juggler to go with the Equality.
Yeah, well, Atarim is a pseudo-board clear, right?
Sure, I mean, they all are, as it happens, in all kinds of weird ways. So is the Spellbreaker, kind of good as well. But BunnyHoppor doesn't have an actual reliable thing here.
This is such a weird game of Hearthstone.
I mean, looking now, every card they draw is a card they wish they'd had half an hour ago. Look at this hand from Viper. It's suddenly really powerful, and he's just been middling around with these spells. BunnyHoppor hits the shot. First time.
BunnyHoppor only has one clear, you're right. Like the Equality plus whatever he draws next turn, hopefully, Avenging Wrath or Consecration.
Realising that Viper's going to have to do a lot of work next time, so playing the Ooze to put an extra 2 mana's pressure on this turn.
Yeah.
Because he's not threatening to win the game, he's just making it really difficult for Viper to wrestle back the board. Which he can do, I think.
Viper can get the board back nicely. He's got He's got Shiv Vilespine if he wants to. It doesn't even feel necessary here. Hench Clan Hero Power.
Hench Clan Vilespine Hero Power looks all right as well. 3/4 is a nice shape when you've taken down the Spellbreaker.
He can't quite squeeze in the Hero Power with the Hench Clan and the Vilespine. But,
oh, is it 9 mana? Yeah, sorry.
But your eyes.
My eyes actually starting to fail, I think. Yeah, so that's not how 9 works.
See what he draws with the Shiv. Fan of Knives would be it. Well, actually, it wouldn't be that good. Where are the 4/4s? That's the problem. They're all going to get drawn at once, and then one Equality Consecration is going to clear up everything Viper has.
Again, assuming Bunny actually gets that. I mean, Bunny's only got like 2 turns to live at this point. Oh, this is plenty of stuff.
Uh-oh.
And Bunny has drawn... It's almost like this deck is awful.
It's Tarim, right? It's Tarim's turn.
I think he has to. But, like, BunnyHoppor seems to have not drawn a good card for 20 cards. And we know that this deck is full of good stuff.
This definitely isn't my experience with even Hardening Lorinda, I've got to tell you.
It is mine.
I'm sure it's not Bunny's either.
Yeah, I'm sure. That I agree. It's not Bunny's.
I'd like to... I'm looking forward to... As soon as we're done with this cast, I'm going to take a look at the full list, though, because obviously Direwolf in itself is almost dated at this stage.
Yeah, we saw Green Sheep playing it earlier as well.
Sure.
But that's Green Sheep who likes to hit people in the face with anything, and Direwolf has charge.
Not in real life, guys. Don't worry.
I don't know, you should have seen him at WSG after he got knocked out on tiebreakers. Anyway, that's another story. And of course, he was fine.
He's a perfectly nice guy in real life.
The nicest, in fairness.
There you go. BunnyHoppor plays the turn. Both of these guys are really utilising their full turn timers here.
Yeah, Bunny putting in the work here to, look, I'm not going to win this by holding on. Viper's got me on value for whatever reason this game. I'm going to hit him and try and get it over with.
This is actually just getting almost comedic at this point, how trash both of these guys' draws are. SI7 Agent, great. Fantastic. Where are the 4/4s? There's still 2 in the deck.
We're angering Dan. This is difficult to do. Don't think I've ever seen Dan get angry over a 4/4 before. But they are going to turn up, and they are going to be likely the difference maker. But Viper has an immediate problem that he is close to dying, especially when he can envisage all the stuff in Bunny's hand. I mean, what Bunny's out here is like most of his deck. Actually, he's got through 2 True Silvers, 2 Argents. That might be a bit quick of me there.
He's got 2. He should have 2. Well,
he's got
probably has 2 Consecrations and 2 Avenging Wraths in the deck, which would clear the board pretty nicely. But he's at the point now where it's like, if BunnyHoppor does draw Consecration this turn, great, he clears the board once, then Viper will get a board full of 4/4s, and BunnyHoppor will need to somehow clear it again.
Sets up lethal, I think.
Okay.
I actually can't see.
It's Call to Arms. So BunnyHoppor is going to have to play a quality Call to Arms, I think, here. Like, hoping he gets Knife Juggler, which I don't believe we've seen yet, so the chances are pretty high. A quality, Call to Arms, and then Hero Power, potentially, to try and clear away everything.
And it's not actually lethal, I just can't count to Edwin. But there's lots of outs for it to be lethal for Viper.
Can't count to Edwin? I just can't see the number.
Both of those 2 things. Okay, here goes the board, like you say about the Knife Jugglers. It's a big deal.
No Knife Juggler, no Vicious Scalehide. Oh dear.
Oh dear, but also, actually, he's still not dead at all. The Viper has 2 4/4s left. A Hench.
He's got another 3 4/4s in addition because he's played the second Faldori Strike.
So that's 5.
So, yeah.
Yeah, he should really start smashing there. There's a Leroy.
Where are they? I want to know how thick these decks are.
Right, I mean, Viper's deck is pretty much entirely just...
We haven't mentioned this, but BunnyHoppor got maybe the most vital card from his Call to Arms, which is Loot Hoarder, just to keep getting through this deck and actually start to draw the good stuff. It sort of illustrates why Loot Hoarder is so powerful, because even if a board of Call to Arms gets cleared, the hand gets stocked up as well.
And I'm actually surprised we're not seeing more people playing Thanos.
Thanos is great. Thanos with Consecration clears the Tyrant board, clears Voidwalkers. It's fantastic.
And draws the card when it doesn't do those things. Well, yeah, I agree with the clears in the mirror. So fantastic as well.
Deals with SI7 Agent and Henchland Thug, too.
Every turn, it's like, okay, the person who just had their turn managed to win back the board, but this can't continue. At some point, somebody will just crack this open, and it's likely to be Viper if he can hang in there 2 or 3 turns because of those 4-4s. Now the equality clear has gone from Bunny.
There's the consecration. The quality's gone now. It won't deal with the Hench Clan. Second call to arms. I don't need, there's got to still be some 2-drops in the deck.
There's some jugglers left, I think.
Yeah, assuming he's running them. Like, we'd only seen a direwolf before this point, I think. And 1. Oh, okay.
It's been a long game of Hearthstone. Okay.
Okay, so...
Both eviscerates have gone, right?
Yes.
So that's not an out. We've seen 1 cold blood, so that is an out for lethal.
Let me think.
This is really complicated. So Viper can put Leroy into... Okay, I'm going to assume here that Viper draws 3 4-4s, or 4 4-4s.
Okay, all the 4-4s you like, mate.
Then he just needs to survive a turn. So he plays he plays Leroy Jenkins, puts it into the 6-5. Hench Clan goes into the Knife Juggler, or you know, one of the 2 drops.
Yeah.
Then he's in a better-ish position to win, but Leroy will summon minions for BunnyHoppor, which will be knives.
Spider, ambush.
Wow, just the 1.
It's lethal.
Leroy Coldblood, 10 damage, 14, 15, 16, 17 on the board. Amazing. Viper takes it away.
2 games apiece, and now we're going to see...
That was very almost not...
Oh, of course, it's the old, it's the old Leroy Pew Pew. Forgot about that. That would have been really embarrassing as I was going into the rundown.
We're like, the next game is happening. Oh, Leroy's dead? What? No, okay. That was good. I mean...
It's been a few years since we saw one of those.
I'll be honest. Both of those decks, both of the players drew pretty badly. Viper got the good start with both Auctioneers, and because the Paladin drew badly, Viper was able to get off and sort of thin his deck out a little bit there. Like, it's more important, I think, that the Paladin doesn't draw like trash than it is for the Rogue.
But it's so much harder for the Paladin to draw like trash.
It's also so much harder, exactly.
I mean, I've never seen a Paladin draw that much trash, memes aside, in a competitive game.
No, I can't think that I have either, but we are going all the way to game number 5, and it's going to be Spiteful Druid versus Miracle Rogue. And this is a matchup I don't know very well at all.
Gotta admit, not a matchup I've seen that much, so let's work it out. Well, working it out, BunnyHoppor's hand is really good, and Viper's hand is pretty good, although he doesn't seem to be that keen.
Both of them, you're like, the hands are really good, and we just see red X's everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, the players in tournaments do red X everything, a lot of the players now, because you can see what your opponent's hovering over in the mulligan phase. So you red X everything, then choose it. The one time I tried that, I hit end by mistake and just mulligan away like the best hand I'd ever been dealt. So I don't do that anymore.
You know, when you play when you're really tired and you accidentally like throw away the cards you want to keep, or vice versa.
Oh, that used to be a thing as well, yeah.
Yeah, used to be, sure. Used to be.
And you wonder how badly you must be playing. If you can't even keep a card by clicking an X in the right place, how bad must your entire gameplay be at that point?
Yeah, it used to be, exactly.
And I'll swear blind that I don't make any mistakes at all at 7 in the morning when we've been playing for 36 hours straight. Don't try that, it's unhealthy.
Used to be. Okay. Right, so yeah, BunnyHoppor's start is really good, like you said, assuming he doesn't draw the second Ultimate Infestation. If he draws that, it becomes a bit of a disaster, because Spiteful Summoner gets a bit of a bigger nerf than the one that it's getting next week.
The thing is that Bunny's going to be able to set up the Vicious Fledgling, and that's going to occupy Viper's time enough, most likely, to buy into that Spiteful Summoner. We saw no sap, right? There must be saps.
I don't recall seeing
There must be saps. We just didn't see any. Yeah, okay. I'm happy now.
Good call.
So Tyrantus, the only real terror in there, out of the 5 options from the Spiteful when we get that far.
Well, Tyrantus is fine if Viper has Valspine Slayer.
Sure.
It can be targeted by that. Shiv's looking pretty good to me here. I was saying to you guys yesterday on the way here, actually, I don't personally think Shiv is a very good card. However, it's there to thin the deck out.
I mean, something has to be the 30th card, right?
Right, and this just looks to me as a good a situation as ever to just save yourself some health and cycle through the deck.
Yeah, you want your dagger up there, though, because you've got the Thug coming up.
Oh, that's true. That's a good counter.
Really awkward to work out exactly what to do. Decision after decision in these decks.
You're right. The potential of drawing into, of playing the Hench Clan next turn and having it be a 4/4 immediately. However, Bunny can coin out the Crypt Lord.
Yeah, it's really good looking, isn't it?
Which then protects Vicious Fledgling next turn.
Into Chain Gang,
well.
and who cares about my Spiteful Summoner? That's just going to back up after all this lot's been dealt with.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a very, very tempting looking play indeed. Yeah.
I'm just staring at this Ultimate Infestation in BunnyHoppor's hand, and I'm thinking, God, he is just so hoping not to draw the second one. I really don't like playing this deck in any sort of serious setting.
Really?
I feel like with this deck, more than a lot of others, when it comes to like having to draw a card, having to not draw a card, that the feeling you get when you draw that second Ultimate Infestation is so gut-wrenching.
Yeah, I think it depends on the mentality of each individual pro player. I mean, most of them these days are obviously doing it by the numbers, what they believe will be the best thing to do. And most of them these days just handle it. It's like, okay, I drew 2 UIs, my whatever percent came in.
Sure. Fledgling, the only playable card for BunnyHoppor here, and again, I'm pretty certain he's going to play it down, but as you were saying before, he's thinking through his next few turns, and there's just no reason for the rest to turn out, is there?
No, absolutely not.
What's the advantage?
I mean, there's 254 players all crowded around their table saying, hurry up, we want to start round 2. But apart from that, which should actually have 0 influence on your play.
So
this is the last match of round 1 in all of the arena, apparently.
Really?
So round 2 will be good to go pretty soon.
So Dagger into the Crypt Lord plus Hench Clan into the Crypt Lord is an option. It clears it up pretty nicely. Obviously, the Vicious Fledgling would like to be dealt with. They could be sapped. I'm not seeing too much that's any better than that, though.
Yeah, there's nothing fantastic looking, right?
I think it is. It's just hit the Crypt Lord with the dagger, re-dagger up, finish it with the Hench Clan, and sap the Fledgling. Does the job. It prevents the Fledgling from just sticking there and killing you in 2 turns with Wind Fury. Oh wow, okay, this is entirely different. Look at that.
Yeah, I mean, he's just going to say, okay, your Fledgling has to trade into my stuff, or I'm going to kill you before your Fledgling does anything. But we have Caster Vision, which is why we're focused on the Fledgling, because we know this Chain Gang's coming down.
Yeah, I think BunnyHoppor is laughing at this questing feature right now. I don't know, it's really tricky. Spellbreaker will definitely make BunnyHoppor want to laugh at this questing.
But your Fledgling's, like, what's he going to do? You're going to leave up the 9/2? That's what Viper's challenging him to do. Like, hit me with your Fledgling, I dare you. Get Wind Fury, good luck, get your 30%.
Wow. These guys want to end this game really fast.
Well, I mean, the way to keep it at bay is by saying, I'm going to kill you if you hit me in the face with it.
Yeah.
But not the way is to bounce it like you were thinking, but you know, what he's going with is, no, I'm just going to force you to do something different.
And it looks like it's trading. I mean, trading a 3/3 into a 9/2 doesn't seem bad at all. It's just a shame that all of the value that the Fledgling could potentially get isn't being utilized.
But this is the win for Viper. This meant he's now got a 2/2 on the board that the other way around he wouldn't have had, and he's still got his sap in his hand.
Yep. And look at that, Hench Clan Hero Power really cleans up this Spellbreaker nicely.
Right, and this is the snowball effect of what he did last turn, where he just challenged BunnyHoppor to hit him in the face with Fledgling. That didn't happen, and now because he's got a 4/4 against nothing, that's snowballed to a 2/2 against nothing a minute ago. This is all the effect of that decision.
Okay, Blasphemous Ooze. Yeah, it's pretty nice. It prevents the Hench Clan from getting another buff next turn unless Viper spends the 2 mana to Hero Power. I think Saronite's probably just better here.
So one Saronite dude dies on board but keeps a Hench Clan at play. The other one gets met by a 4/4 a lot of the time, or similar. Sure.
I don't know, like
Use doesn't challenge anything ever, anywhere.
BunnyHoppor's hand sucks here, but
well,
this turn it sucks.
Right, so with that in mind, let's get to the next turn. Yeah. So let's play the Saronite, I think.
Yeah, next turn, as you said before, Tyrantus could really do some damage to Viper. Sap's not going to touch that.
And it's interesting because both players only had 2 or 3 options every turn. And he is going to go with the Ooze and waste 2 mana like you were suggesting. slow down this Henge, and he's actually going to hit the Henge with his face, that look like? No. I was going to say, wow. But those 1 or 2 decisions every turn have really been difficult for them.
That's a card, though. That's that's certainly a card that puts any risk of a Tyrantus next turn at bay. Just a little shift to the face, and a Valspine Slayer will deal with that one. In the meantime, I don't mind just dropping Gadgetzan Auctioneer here for Viper.
Like just bold play.
Trade the 3/3, drop Auctioneer. It's going into the Spiteful Summoner turn.
He couldn't deal with your Hench last turn. You're going to play a lot of cheap spells soon. I like it. You're going to Shiv and Vilespine, whatever. Yeah, sure.
And that's the other thing. It's that this Druid deck doesn't actually, like, it can't run Spiteful, can't run Wrath, can't run the Spellstone. There's not many ways that BunnyHoppor could deal with this actually in the deck. And one Spellbreaker's gone. Again,
notice that Bunny's last turn was the correct thing because he's managed to save a point off that Hench.
Right.
By killing the weapon, he projected what Viper's likely plays were. And actually, even though he didn't get the defense down with the Sour Knight, he did manage to slow down this Hench gang that was going out of control.
Yeah, you're right. I really like how Viper's been playing this.
So is there any alternative play to slamming it down? He thinks so. He thinks this defends a Spiteful on 7 into Lich King on 8, and whatever is produced might live.
And now Viper gets this little reward for playing the Auctioneer. It's like, okay, well, I guess I'll just draw my deck there.
Do you think there's a little bit of bait in this one? Do you think this is okay, go off with your Auctioneer, waste all your spells, and I'll drop my Spiteful?
No.
Because you can't kill the Auctioneer next turn either, that's the problem, right?
So I would have said no, like, if Viper just played spells this turn, it wouldn't have been a problem for him, but he actually played the one way he had of removing Tyrantus. On the other hand, BunnyHoppor just might decide not to play Spiteful again because he didn't last turn. Why would he now? He's going to.
That's what I mean. I wonder if there's a little bit of bait there from Bunny saying, okay, play some of your removal and now I'm going to drop.
Sure. I'm just not sure how much actual proper removal Viper would have played.
Sure.
Now sapping this is a scary thought because later on it gives BunnyHoppor a board clear. Second Valspine right on cue though.
Yeah.
Sap it anyway.
I mean, sap kills it. And you can Valspine something else later. Sap basically kills this card, right? Because you can't Ultimate Infestation and play your Deathwing on the same turn. No,
I mean, now that Deathwing in the hand is going to be a very late game card if played at all, but it is something that Viper is going to have to consider later. You know, when he's got a board full of 4/4s.
I think he's considering the idea there isn't a later in about 3 turns' time.
Sure. Yep.
There is no tomorrow.
Yep, and I agree. I think sapping it is the correct thing to do, but it's just something he can't forget that's in the hand. He can't do that.
No, that would be a bad accident to happen, for sure, and he could definitely die to that. What I've been impressed about with pretty much every match we've seen today is how much people resist getting full value out of everything this day and age. I mean, we know that anyway, but you know, tempo is key, but the amount people give up now to get that tempo, we saw us saying earlier, just giving up a Dustbreaker for some tempo, or at least short-term giving it up.
Right.
Again, a Viper using the knowledge that Bunny has to kill this Auctioneer, so why should he kill it?
Yeah. Viper really hesitated there. He did not know if he wanted to hit in that dagger or not. Actually waved his mouse around the screen. Did you see that?
Honestly, I think dagger hits with Rogue are like the hardest thing in Hearthstone.
Yeah, I agree.
They drive me insane. I think I guess about 50% correctly by flipping a coin. That's my best out.
I mean, there are some obvious situations and there are less obvious situations.
But anything that's even close is just drives me insane.
This is certainly less obvious because Viper has no idea if he's going to be daggering up next turn or the turn after.
Right.
Because his hand is so full of stuff. He doesn't know how much mana he's going to be using.
And there's not so much dependency on deck hands, so it's a little bit less important than some matches. Obviously with Quest Rogue, when you've got deck hands around, you sort of just sit there with this dagger that you don't attack with almost at all because you need the first charge to kill something at some point, the second charge for your deck hand to live. Oh, he's going to go questing, prep, fan, Edwin. This looks like fun.
Again, one Spellbreaker already gone. BunnyHoppor only has so many ways of dealing with tall minions.
This just says, go ahead, Ultimate Infestation, this lot.
Yeah, just Firefly, Flame Elemental, Edwin. I don't mind that at all. Even Firefly Eviscerate, I guess, that works too. Oh, hold on a second.
Wow.
It's going phases. Wow.
This is why I don't play Miracle Rogue.
It's so good though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like Ultimate Infestation, what does he hit? He has to hit the Questing Adventure, right?
Yeah.
Great. Then Auctioneer draws both Cold Bloods and just lethals BunnyHoppor. Instead, okay, he can also Infestation the Auctioneer. Then Questing Adventurer grows huge and kills him in one hit. It's a lose-lose situation.
Yeah, he's kept the Valspine back for that Deathwing of which you spoke. And there's...
Maybe... Okay, well, BunnyHoppor has made his grave. It's time to sit in it,
yeah, I mean,
this little ghoul and see what pops out.
Viper, the ultimate reward with his prep. Just going to draw a million cards here.
Viscerate goes straight into the face. Okay. Oh, okay, sure. Now, Cold Blood is still lethal.
Yeah, so he's not fishing for the lethal, just fishing to get another 4/4. It was lethal, but
sure,
he wanted the 4/4, valuing that over some of the trash he could draw.
It's pretty unfortunate, but now Viper can still play a big, fat Edwin Van Cleef.
He can. He wants to play around this MC Tech number 2 because he knows there's a good chance in hand now. He's so late in the game.
So maybe just trade the Auctioneer.
Well, you can also play around by playing a million things.
Yep.
Is one way out as well, but yeah, trade the Auctioneer and just play a small Edwin is definitely what he's looking at right now. But he wants to stuff that 4 damage into face.
He would definitely prefer to put that into the face for sure. And oh, rope is burning, Viper. He's wow. Okay.
I'm pretty sure this is where he didn't want to end up, with exactly 4 on board.
He's actually just shaking his head.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he just did things because the rope was going. He couldn't choose between 6 minions and 4 minions and ended up with and 5 minions, ended up with exactly 4. Which is not ideal, but unless he loses a 1 in 4 shot, he should still be in a good spot.
So BunnyHoppor can play the Mind Control tech. He can play the 4/2 rush and deal with the Auctioneer. Like, say best case scenario, it takes the Edwin. He can rush into the Auctioneer, kill that as well. Then what? He's got a second rush minion, he could kill the other 4/4, then Leroy still kills him and he doesn't have mana to armor up, so that's no good. It's hard to it's hard to actually spot the line where Bunny wins this. Maybe Deathwing is the play. Genuinely.
Well, I think he knows there's a Vilespine. That's been in the hand for such a long time. Well, it's not that long actually now.
Time waits for no one.
Yeah, he's dead to everything else, isn't he?
There's not even really the time to make his play anymore.
Yeah. He's going for the
Deathwing. Unbelievable. There you go, Viper. There's your, I guess, reward for sapping this earlier.
Viper's played this game so incredibly well.
Discarded Bunny's hand, and now a quick Vilespine Slayer.
Top lethal anyway.
Never mind. Okay. I really wanted to see the Vilespine Slayer.
Viper takes it 3-2 with 2 good Miracle Rogue wins back-to-back. First against the Paladin, again against the Druid. And I think that's the final game finished for round number 1, Cora.
Well, I'm standing at the desk, so it has to be at this point. I would have thought several times before this, oh, that has to be the last game of this round, but it was not, but it finally is. So that was quite the first round, Lorinda. I'm surprised you're not falling over at this point from exhaustion, but we have
He's not that
finished
old,
up.
Cora. Come on.
Oh, pish, I never said he was. We have completed round number 1 of the Swiss, but we are far from done for today. Coming up next, we're going to be going right into round number 2, so don't go anywhere. More of Dreamhack Tours coming right up.